Boy, was I wrong about the weather. I said, hey, it got cold when I was a kid, and we used to light the fire, and we expected that the lights would be out. And yet I know today more than ever, a lot of people just don't live that way, and they're using the weather tech on us. And the UK government, announces, hey, we're gonna block out the sun, and guys are going on podcasts saying, hey, I helped create weather tech, but I did not kill those people in Texas. I don't have anything to do with the weather tech in Hawaii and all that stuff. And the guys that invent the tech, at least one of the guys, is going around apologizing, say, hey, don't come after me or my family. I invented tech, but I'm not saying how it gets used. They're using it for evil, and he doesn't agree with that. Did you ever see that guy? So anyway, so we know that there's weather tech. So they told us they're going to use it, so now they're using it this winter, and it's really cold. All through 2025, you were hearing the stories about the mass power outages worldwide. So they're going to shut the lights out, and people have been making jokes about it for years. When World Economic Forum announced you'll live in a pod, eat the bugs, and know nothing. Other YouTubers, because I've seen their videos, and they're saying, hey, here's another example of we'll own nothing. Here's me complaining about video games. Here's Elon selling the car and you can't buy it. Jeff Bezos is saying you don't need a console. Ubisoft CEO for years is saying I don't think people should have consoles. That was his opinion that was given to him because out of fear, and he's a coward. So he's like, well, I'm just gonna say that I love it and I think it's a great idea because he's a coward and he sees the trend of things or whatever. And he's a coward. Did I mention that the guy that whatever. They're going along with the plans for world domination. I mean, isn't the world already dominated? Now I think at this point, they just want us to go along with it. They just want to, the devil wants to, forget about what happens to you in your sleep and your dreams when you're making covenants with demons. Now they want it to be overt in daily waking life, and they're traumatizing the world, and then through this trauma they want us to go along with whatever it is they want to do to us, which would us be making covenants with evil. This is dialectics again. Everybody talks about this now, right? It's very common. They're creating a problem, and then people cry out, what are you going to do about this? And then they say, well, we'll fix it, but here's what we want, here's what it's going to cost you. And underneath it all is what it's going to cost us is pieces of our soul. They create problems for us, and then they pretend that they're saving us. And then we go, oh, thank you, we're so glad. So maybe even when World Economic Forum announces that you will live in a pod, eat bugs, and know nothing, maybe that's just a threat so that they can push us to this point where wow, that really seems like it's coming. And then they'll come up with, well, if you don't want to live in the pod and eat the bugs and know nothing, here's what you have to agree to. You have to sell your soul. You have to join us in fighting against the camp of the saints, even though you don't know that's what you're doing. I'm not, I don't know all the parts of the plan, but clearly you can see that what's being done to us is people worldwide are being traumatized. They really tested that out in a big way with 2019 going into 2020, when they told everybody stay home, take a bubble bath, and then stand in line, and then there's attack dogs, which are supposed to be comfort dogs for children, and all these bullshit lies they told us. And just go along. We want to do stuff to your blood. We want to make sure, look what we did, Lord. They put the ritual human sacrifice into their blood. They took it into their blood, and they thought that it would help them, and now they've made agreements with us, unwitting contracts, kind of like you make in your dreams, with evil. And I think that they want to do that to us in a big way. They want to terrify people. They want to scare them. They want to push people to a bad place, and then make them go along with whatever it is that they say. And the price is going to be our souls. It isn't always the cost. Pieces of our soul, if not the whole thing. And they want us to turn on one another. I did a video, and I said this is a little extreme. They tell us it's going to get cold, and then there's news stories where the store shelves are empty, and we're just gonna get a little snow, and then it was more than a little bit of snow. It was significant, and again, more mass power outages, and they're like, hey, we're gonna traumatize you some more. We're shutting the lights out on you guys. Go to the shelter, and all you people can be scared together, and we'll, stir up all your fears and everything, and then, you stay there, you stay scared, so that even when the lights come back on, we'll give you the trauma, you keep it. And that's what they're doing to us. And I'm sure they figured out a lot of things. Like when there's like a whole category of YouTube videos where if you type up 2020 nostalgia, you're gonna get a lot of results. Some people who are actually genuinely nostalgic about 2020 being locked up, and other people who are saying, do you believe that people are nostalgic about 2020 lockdowns? And a lot of people making the videos that can't believe this shit are Zoomers themselves. They're like, I can't believe these people. I can't believe that my generation is like, and this is all programming of traumatized people. Stay in the pod, eat bugs, take a bubble bath. We'll give you a universal basic income living stipend. You can see how all the ways that they're traumatizing are leading to people to want this. The people just want it to stop. Can I just have a life? Can I just have my little cloistered life? I love Japan. Can I just have my micro apartment that won't be taken away from me? And just have internet connection, and my friends are there, and the world's there, and I make videos and all these things. And who cares if we're eating bugs? I've seen people say this. I've seen the Wayne Cohn from the Flaming Lips. He was on a Space Ghost episode that was like 12 years ago, or if not more. And he was saying, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be great to eat bugs in the future, because it's not new propaganda is the point. And that guy's like a cult leader and an evil, filthy bastard. That poor dumb bastard, that poor soul is saying, no, I think it's going to be great to eat bugs. Propagandizing for the elites, for the elites, the wealthy elites whose fortune shape the fates of nations. And look at what they're shaping the nations into. They're scaring us. They're trying to scare people. They want to traumatize us. Hey, could we uplift man into a new golden age? No, we're going to traumatize them and terrify them and harvest the energy and drink the blood and grind up the meat, and you guys can eat each other, and you can eat you can have cloned strands of human embryonic kidney cells pumped directly into your blood, and you're now willing it's like Madonna at the Super Bowl years ago, where she's saying you are now all participants in a Kabbalistic ritual. And I'm recording this video the day after the Super Bowl. I don't know. I heard that it was Bad Boy. It was a Super Bowl halftime show star or whatever. Did he do his ritual? Did it fail? I've been praying for their rituals to fail, that they would be cut off, and that in preparation for their evil satanic rituals, that it burn them in preparation so that they can't even complete the rituals. I pray to God they would cut them off so that the ritual sacrifices don't work anymore, so that in preparation for the rituals they can't get what they want. And that it burn them, and the evil dark forces that they're trying to appease to get these evil things from. All the stuff, basically just grieving God, all the things that people willingly, knowingly do to grieve God for earthly things. I pray that their plans fail. I pray that their rituals fail, so that all the world can see at the Super Bowl or whatever. So did it go off? Did the rituals work, or were they just disgusted with it? Because they've been pretty transparent the last couple of years with all their rituals, and then it seems like maybe recently, like with 2025, their overt Satanism hasn't been well received, so they're dialing it back. And yet that's another one of their strategies to give us this false version of God. Kind of videos I watch, I'm hearing a lot of Catholic, and I'm like, that's not good. The Roman Catholics, the way I heard it put years ago, probably by Jay Dyer, was that they were the world's oldest intelligence agency. The Roman Catholic Church is like 1,000-year-old intelligence agency, which used to be for kings, and it's evil and has nothing to do with God or Jesus. The age of consent in Vatican City is 14 years old, and like, who's that for? And it's like, well, for boys, and they have like the world's largest bathhouse or something in Vatican City or something like that. It's not funny, it's evil. I don't know why I'm laughing at it. It's like, if I'm laughing, and I am, but it's like, do you believe this shit? Like, really? Like the nerve. And that's what they're doing. Like, they're just telling us, here's what we're gonna do. Like with the weather tech stuff, they're saying, look, we're gonna block out the sun because it's bad for you. In the UK, where they already don't get enough sun, right? In parts of it. And, you know, then they brought a bunch of dark-skinned people in who are used to more sun, and they're like, now you're gonna live here, and we're taking even more sun away from you people. And look at how the people that live here or have the complexion of the inside of a potato. And now you're here as to displace the people who've been here that got used to the bad weather, and now we're going to take the sun away even more. You see what I mean? It's like the strategy is F everybody, you know, like no matter who you're the new invaders that we brought in here, that we, you know, to displace the people who are from here. Well, screw you guys too. So you know, and worldwide, and it's an old strategy. I mean, this has been written about, you know, it's been done before. There's nothing new under the sun. Let's take, you know, like you see a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner cartoon, if you even know what that is, and how the mechanics of the cartoon is the coyote wants to eat the Roadrunner. And he's really fast, so he can't catch him. So it comes up with some elaborate scheme to catch and eat the Roadrunner, which is a bird. And the coyote's plan almost succeeds, but it fails. So instead of perfecting his plan and trying it again so that he can kill that stupid bird, he just comes up with a completely new scheme and says, oh, well, that almost worked, but it didn't work. I'm not going to tweak it or change the plan. I'm just going to come up with another evil scheme. That's not how it works in the real world. You see what's been done in the past with communism and where it worked and all the evil and horror and damage it caused, and then you never stop with it. So we still have this communism, Marxism, socialism shit today being propagandized to young people. And when you look at the horrors of what was done with it in the past with Stalin, Hitler, Lenin, Mao Zedong, and name all the names. And they're just perfecting it. They're just tweaking it and doing the same shit today. How can we get it to work this time? Not that it will ever work for the benefit of the people. That was never the plan. Because underneath it all, Karl Marx told you that he was a Luciferian. And these guys literally worship the devil. By whether it's Satan, Lucifer, Old Scratch, Old Nick, whatever name you want to call. Forces of darkness, let's just encompass that all as the forces of darkness. The demons, the unclean spirits, the fallen angels, the Els, the Elohims, the whatever, dead Nephilim spirits, dead mermaid spirits, whatever it is that's evil, that's doomed to walk the earth, that has been around for a while and is evil. That's what we're up against. And yet, that's what's so great about God. He's like, yeah, they'll pick me. Maybe not everybody, but some of them will. And he knows that we're being deceived. And I don't know. I kind of didn't like the book of Job in the Bible, and it's starting to make more sense to me. I would say, I pray to God. I'd say, Lord, I'm not Job because of the stuff that I go through. And I still feel as though even, you know, I'm like, Lord, I'm not Job. I don't, whatever his faith is, I'm sure it's not like mine. But I think Job is there as an extreme example of what's reflected in our lives if we genuinely, sincerely strive and seek God and pray. And maybe it won't be severe as it was for Job, but, you know, I never used to think that I was a prophet or whatever, because I don't feel like I hear God telling me to say the things I tell you in YouTube videos. I just do it. But, you know, where I live isn't necessarily my hometown, but it's like, it's not easy. It's not, I have my struggles. And I feel like, even though it's in terms of intangibles for me, I feel like there's something given to me by God to help me endure. But it's not really so easy. I do not have a really great time. Like, I am kind of hated. And it's irrational. But if you talk to people that hate me, they tell you all about why they hate me. And it will probably sound irrational to you. But they're not going to stop. And I feel like maybe there's something to this book of Job stuff, and part of the reason that's in the Bible is because that's for you, and I don't even know who you are. Are you seeking God? Are you looking? Do you know it's Jesus? Do you pray? Do you have like irrational stuff happen to you where it's like I think this is the spiritual warfare stuff they're talking about, because this is a lot. 2024 was a particularly horrible year, and all it did was push me closer to God. And I think that this Roman Catholic stuff, trying to lead people astray, I think it's a plan that's doomed to fail. They want to lead people to God in a distorted way so that they'll eventually turn away from Him. That's the strategy, I believe, of the forces of darkness, of the elites, of the rich people. They're like, let them have Jesus, and then we're going to turn them away from God because they've been strategizing for this shit for so long. Let them have God. Let them have the Roman Catholic. And, the schisms of the churches and everything, and it will just further push them away from God. And I don't think it's going to work. And I think it's already not working. I think once people find God, even in a distorted way, that's an opening for God to get in. And they're not going to turn away from Him. I mean, maybe they will. I mean, some will, sadly. But I can't help but I'm confident that it's not going to work. I think that if people really want God, which underneath it all, this is really what people want, even if they don't know that that's what they're looking for. Like when people go to New Age stuff, yes, they want power, they want some surety or security in life. But if you really want that, what's underneath it is you're going to want God, because that's the truth of wanting these things. If you want power, if you want security, then you got to surrender yourself over to God, because He's that security, He's that surety, He's true power. This is the glory of God when you say, glory to the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Glory to you, O Lord. Glory to you, O Lord Jesus Christ, our King and our God and our hope. Glory forever. Why say glory? That's beauty, power, and honor. True beauty, true power. Someone who's honorable, faithful until the end. This is God, maker of all things. So if you go to religion or to gurus and all the other religions in the New Age agenda that was intended to lead us astray, and doing witchy stuff and witch talks and all these things, what's underneath all that bullshit, that Baal shit, all this stuff with the horns? When you're really broken down and none of it works and the magic fails you. David Bowie wrote songs about it. Station to Station is about how he went to magic and it failed him. Maybe he needs a break from coke and magic. Can't get from Kether to Malkuth. So I do believe that their plans will fail. I think people are going to find God and they'll never let go. And I think people are coming to God, even in a distorted way. And I think that the way that people will be turned away from God is that they think that praying to Him, like God's a wish granter, and then when their wishes aren't granted, they might perceive God as like some sort of monkey's paw type of God, which He is not. And I think maybe that's, like if Kanye West ever got a chance to break away from his controllers and his mind wiping, and he thought he had found Jesus. I think what helped lead him astray, one, the spiritual warfare that a guy like that's under for making the devil deals and sound parts of his soul and everything. But I also think he thought God was a wish granter and that God would just give him what he wanted, because it says in the Bible, ask and it shall be given to you. If you believe as though you have the things that you're praying for, they'll be given to you. But I would say the caveat to that is, provided it's in accordance to my will, because I'm not going to grant evil wishes. You know what I mean? God's not a wish granter. We pray to God. Wishes are for the devil. The old Jim Henson movie Labyrinth is about that. It's really simple to make a wish. You just say the thing that you want, and it's not a prayer to God when you say it. I wish the goblins would come and take my baby brother away right now. And then David Bowie shows up and takes her brother away, and then she has to get him back. If she had prayed to God for help with babysitting her brother, maybe the colicky baby would have calmed down. But instead she made a wish to the devil and he showed up. And again, in the form of David Bowie, and took her brother away. So I think it's going to fail, like, to lead people to God in a distorted way so that they can lead people away from God. The great deception. We're going to show up with spaceships of Martians and alien disclosure and aliens or demons. Whatever you believe about that, I think the underlying strategy for the forces of darkness is they want to this time appear as our saviors. In the past they just wanted to crush everything and say this is how it's going to be. And they're making it look like that now. But I think what the plan is, for this world, for this new world order that we're already living in, basically, it's being reorganized now, is that forces of darkness, which is encompassing all evil and lowercase g gods, or whatever you want to call them, dead Nephilim spirits, fallen angels, sons of God who failed him, whatever you want to call these things. Forces of darkness, I'm using that as a catch-all. They just want to appear as our saviors. They want us to worship, honor, and venerate them. And then they want to push us out of the way so the demons, and as well as them, can use our bodies and have a physical experience, because a lot of these things are not allowed to, they can't go to heaven, they can't go to hell or Hades or Sheol, so they're doomed to roam the earth. And they're all about this earthly stuff. God says, this world, my kingdom is not of this world. Well, these demons, these forces of darkness, are all about this world. So they want to latch onto us, and this is realm of demonic possession. Jesus cast a demon. I talked to a demon inside the one guy, and he said, "What's your name, demon?" And the demon said, "Our name is Legion, for we are many." Because the guy said he had a whole legion of demons in him. And God said, if I have to get up on that cross, but if I needed help, I could have legions, I could have legions of angels come to help me. But he said, no, I'm going to, no more blood sacrifice stuff. You guys wanted blood sacrifice in the past, that did not work out. I never wanted that. You're killing my shit and saying, here, we did this for you, here's the blood. That's not what God wanted. That's what they were doing down here. The demons want blood spill. The demons get something from this. That's why there's that whole part of Leviticus, which I think is Leviticus 17, no blood play, no playing with blood, no drinking blood, nothing to do with blood. Don't drink the blood of any living thing while its life essence runs through it. No blood play. And that's what the demons are all about. The Incans, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Satanists, the voodoo people, they all have, all the blood of things must be spilt. And then the demons are appeased. When, you say, it's a crazy thing. Why would a teenage girl harm herself and draw blood, and then people say, why do you do that to yourself? And she's like, it just takes the pain away. It appeases demons. They want blood. They want the blood of these people, so they're harming themselves, and they're letting blood out. They're bloodletting, which is the thing that God said, no bloodletting. And it appeases the demons. They're getting their blood sacrifice. That's vampirism. That's the whole story of the vampires, is we want blood, and it keeps us going, and we get to keep, you give us the blood and we get to keep going. And the whole point of it is to not have to face God at the end of this, to not have to face your maker. Hey, sell your soul, become a vampire. This is the vampire mythos, or whatever you want to call it. Sell your soul, become a vampire, and then you'll live forever, because if you sell your soul, then you have to meet God. He's not going to be pleased, so you probably want to, keep going on. And then what happens? You become this distorted, twisted creature. And that's what's, I don't doubt that, there's already something wrong with fallen angels, all right? They got kicked out of heaven. They had their free will choice. They made it, and since for the things that they knew, their knowledge, their understanding of things, it was deeper than man's. God says, you're out, you're not coming back in. And then he uses them for whatever he wants. God will use whoever he wants for whatever he wants, even demons, unclean spirits, fallen angels, his sons that failed him, lowercase g gods, whatever you believe, dead Nephilim spirits. And what does he use? He uses these things to elevate us. We know nothing, we have nothing. Our knowledge is limited. And even if we turn to these dark forces to learn forbidden secrets, we still have an opportunity to rebuke it all and come back to God and repent. Repentance is huge with God because we sin in a world filled with sin. I mean, they call him the prince of the air. They call him the prince of the earth. It's a way to build up, oh, you want to be vain, you want to have all these things. Okay, the world's the devil's, but who's in it? God's children. Where are they going? To heaven. Where's the devil going? To the lake of fire. Where are his minions going? Where are those who willfully, knowingly, openly serve him? They're going to the lake of fire, they're going to hell. Some of them probably will be returned to naught. Some of them probably so tortured as they are now that they wish that they were just uncreated. That's not the same thing as a prayer to God or praying to God to forgive them. Remember in the book of Enoch where the fallen angels go to Enoch and they're like, can you talk to God for us? And then God says, why didn't they come to me? Why'd they send you, Enoch? Because they were afraid to face God. Maybe they should have. Maybe it could have been different if they had, but they didn't. So it's a long time between now and Book of Enoch and all the fall of the angels before that even. And these are twisted, distorted entities, beings, creatures, whatever you want to call them. And they've had thousands of years to become evil and twisted and distorted, and the suffering that they cause for themselves by what they do to other people and what it does to them has made them twisted, distorted, repulsive beings. And they know a thing or two about how it works down here, and that's used to do evil against us. And then they corrupt people, and they've been generationally corrupting families, Rothschilds, Vanderbilts, whatever. I'm trying to think of some of the names, the other Carnegies, all these evil people. What's the other family? The ones that we know about. Well, whatever. Anyway, these evil people, and the ones we don't know about, the richest people in the world that they talk about, who we don't even know what their names are. It probably looks like they're sitting somewhere watching TV or whatever, but really they're like trying to shape evil plans for the whole world or whatever they're doing, sitting in meditations with demons, being possessed by the spirit of Osiris, whatever you believe. Ultimately, they know already that they lost, so they're just really going to go for it. And this is, pride, they say, is the original reason for the fall. Exalting themselves above God, thinking that they could take on their maker. They think they're tough enough to stand up to Dad, that they could take on the old man, and they lost miserably. And then he tells them what's going to happen. He says, okay, you did a whole bunch of stuff I don't want you to do. Now you're going to have to watch your children kill each other. And then you're going to have to kill whoever survives that. And you're going to have to kill your own children that I didn't want you to make. This is the, fallen angels that entered into human women that created the Nephilim. And this is probably what's in the story of the Mahabharata, where the gods fought against one another. This is just a distortion of something that is true, that is of God. They're twisted, distorted beings, so all they have is this earthly life down here, and they know where they're going, and it's not good, so they're just trying to live it up, even if they're dead Nephilim spirits. They're about earthly things and earthly life, and they hate and resent us, and they've had thousands of years to do it, and thousands of years to become twisted, distorted, disgusting things. And they want to latch onto our bodies because God did all this stuff for us, and some of those angels knew that, and they were jealous, and they made the wrong decision. They got kicked out of heaven. They said, you're doing all this for them? And God's like, yeah, I have a place for you, and it's perfect because I'm God and I'm perfect. I have a perfect place for you. And they used their free will to mess it up and got kicked out of heaven. So now they want to appear to us as saviors, even though they hate us the whole time, and they want us to love and worship and honor and venerate them, and they hate us. And probably there's something twisted and distorted about them. That is like a lostness and a loneliness, but it doesn't matter, because there's to be no sympathy for the devil. Look at all the evil they've done. This is about spilling the blood of children and corrupting and ruining man to get them to go, to get other men, other women to go along with it, to think that it's acceptable, and to call them the goyim, and then drink our blood and eat our flesh and then serve it back to us. And just to think that everything's for them. These people are wicked and evil and possessed of demons, of darkness. They have legions of demons in them, probably. I remember seeing a TikTok video of Kevin Gates talking to a witch, and he was talking about how he had thousands of angels within him, and which is a lie. He doesn't have thousands of angels within him. He's lousy with demons like fleas on a mangy hound. That's Kevin Gates, bringing his kids into witchcraft and sorcery. And this is how people are deceived. And look at witch talk. People are being deceived. I mean, a lot of people who do magic are just stupid. And, you know, they don't have no idea they're being fooled. Some people, was that football player, he's dating Giselle, and he's like, oh, my girlfriend's a good witch. How's he doing now? Did they break up yet? Because there's no way I believe that things are going... Was it Tom Hardy? I'm not a football guy. I don't care about sports. I don't care about any of that shit. It doesn't matter. I come from a line of men who the only way they cared about sports is if they were gamblers, and I'm not. And that kind of died out in our family, not gamblers. I know that the world today as it is, like the only chance some people seem to have would be like to gamble. But it seems like, you know, in a lot of ways, like gambling is about losing everything, not gaining anything. But, you know, when you lose everything, it's not a gamble to put everything, all your faith, trust, and hope in God and ask Him for help. We're made to do this. It's by design. That's the choice that God made us to make. Even though, you know, we turn away from Him, and angels that fell made that choice, and they can't go back. You know, we're to judge the angels. That means there's judgment passed on angels. So we'll have to wait till then to decide if angels can be redeemed. But for now, down here on earth, no sympathy for the devil. So, you know, maybe already, you know, if we are the people of Revelation 20, maybe the angels have been judged already. But it is said that that man will judge the angels. Like, what does that even mean? We're going to have to wait to find out. But until then, ask God for help. Pray to God for help. I do believe that the strategy, you know, is the same as it always was. It's divide and conquer. They just keep finding new ways to do the same thing over and over again. Like, why come up with a new plan every time like Wile E. Coyote when you can just look at what worked in the past and keep refining it and honing it and tweaking it? And that's why, you know, there's nothing new under the sun. They just look at what they did, like warnings and treaties on government stuff that's in the Lao Tzu, which is old Chinese text, the Do De Yang or Tao Te Ching, however you want to pronounce it. There's a lot of stuff that still holds to. You can look at the rise and fall of empires and relate it to that book. It's like 85 verses or something like that, 85 little poems about here's how empires rise and fall, and it still holds till today. And you know, you can use it to see the trend of things, but I would say that those who are evil can use it to say, well, they can use it for the same reasons, but to do evil with it if they have that, you know, if it's been granted to them the power and authority, you know, to get things done. Look at where our leaders are leading us. Are they leading us to any place good, or are they just fleecing the earth and destroying everything and wrecking everything? You know, all this weapons and armament stuff isn't about protecting the people of the country. It's about protecting the power of the people in charge. And, you know, it's a cliche statement. You're like, oh, he's really going to say that one? Yeah, it's a true statement. So, do not fear, do not become dispirited. Pray to God. You can see what they're trying to do. I've had so many setbacks. You know, like, going back to probably like 2005, I started being interested in the sustainability stuff. I've had so many setbacks. Maybe There's a lot of things that were my failing. Like other videos maybe you've seen where I talk about eco-village stuff and trying to help form eco-villages and sustainability neighborhoods and stuff like that. And I have articles in print on these things. I was in some kind of book on sustainability where I wrote my chapter about how I saw when the trucks were lined up like for miles and miles and miles because of a flood, that if trucks don't deliver our goods, we don't get them. And it's a very simple thing like water rising too high can prevent miles and miles and miles of tractor trailer trucks full of all of our things that we use to get by in life, and just it shuts down like that, just because of too much rain. And you can be sure that the people whose fortunes control the fates of nations know this, so they've set us up to live in a way so that we're completely dependent on the system that they created. And now they're trying to fit us into another system. And the cost is going to be our whole soul, pieces of our soul, if not the whole thing. And we can't agree to go along with it because think about what God told us. He said, look at how the birds don't think about tomorrow. I take care of them. And how much more do I love you than these birds? I know what your needs are. So you can pray and pray for your needs, but I know what your needs are. So don't you forget that. God's telling us not to forget that He knows what our needs are. He rained down manna from heaven when He needed it. He fed the multitudes, and feeding the multitudes happened multiple times. That isn't just a story that's repeated because of the one time it happened in the 4 Gospels. No. We're to know that He did this multiple times where it seemed like there wasn't enough food, but God provided for everyone. And these are people that wanted to hear Him and wanted to stay with Him. And He's like, okay, I'll feed everybody. That's for us. He'll feed us. But also we're supposed to be watchful, and it's not wrong to want to say, what can I do for me, what can I do for other people, and to prepare these things. And I've been working on that one for years, and I've had a lot of setbacks of trying to set up like sustainability and permaculture forest guilds and stuff. And I've had people, this has cost me friendships, this has cost me family, and at some point I just had to be like, okay, you know what, I trust God, because I've tried to do a lot of things, and it's turn the other cheek. Happens so many times. You can turn all 4 cheeks, and at some point your asshole's bloody, and that's it. You have to be done. And I've experienced a lot of that. It's not been easy with me. People have been so damn mean to me, and all I've been trying to do is help, and people will reject it. So I don't know what it's been like for you, but when He said He came to divide, and God came to divide families, and He said I'm coming with a sword. He did that once already. Now, this is Satan's short season. So He's come back again. This is for the battle of Gog and Magog, whether you or I ever live to see it or not. You can see what they're doing to us. You can just read books on globalization, or you can watch people's YouTube videos about them, explaining them to you. But you better start praying to God and ask Him for help. And if you're not doing it, here's yet another video where I'm telling you, like, pray to God. If it's not working, it doesn't mean stop working, because God don't grant your wishes. And keep in mind, you can't think of Him as a monkey's paw God. Like, oh, I want the good thing, but He's going to punish me because I ask for it or whatever. That's bullshit. I know people have this. Maybe I'm not explaining it good in this video, but the people do have this idea of a monkey's paw God. It's a distortion of fear of God. Yes, you should fear God, but you should pray for yourself, as it is written in Isaiah 11:2, that you would delight in the fear of God. Pray for that. Pray. This is Isaiah 11:2. And the Spirit of the Lord, and I pray that the Spirit of the Lord shall rest upon me. I pray for a spirit of wisdom. I pray for a spirit of understanding. I pray for a spirit of might and counsel. I pray for knowledge. I pray that and fear of the Lord, and I pray that I would delight in this fear of the Lord. You should be praying that for yourself. It's written in Isaiah 11:2, to him, to that part of the Bible, but God likes it when we take parts of the Bible and reference it back to him. You should be reading it. You know what I mean? You should be reading it. When I got to that part of Isaiah, I was like, I want to pray this. This is for me. Like, I want these things for me, because anything that I'm praying to God for, underneath it all, I know that it's not just for me. It always includes other people. And, you know, like, even if you're praying for, like, a spouse or something, it's like a very common thing. People are lonely. There's a loneliness epidemic. Even if you're praying for a spouse, the two of you together praying for God is supposed to be helping other people. You know, it will. It just will. Like, two people standing together strong, no matter what the world throws at them, is a good thing for everybody. And I want more of that. When you have, you know, nations of people standing together that are willing to lay down their lives for each other, the woman you're willing to lay down your life for, you know, in sickness and in health and all these things. That's that power of love. God's love does permeate all things. It's inescapable. We can lean into it or we can turn away from it. And people, you know, connected to one another in, you know, real love. A whole nation of people like that is a very dangerous thing to the forces of darkness. And, you know, especially if they pray. A whole nation of people praying against the forces of darkness to God, He's going to hear them and He's going to say, yeah, that's what I want, finally. So let's keep doing that and get whatever sect of Christianity we are out of the way of it and be followers of Jesus Christ. It's for His name's sake, for His glory. Stop squabbling about when you can eat meat. He said all these dietary restrictions, that's for people who are weak. Let them have those things. But you need to pray to me and ask for help, whether you're fasting on Wednesdays and Fridays or not, whether it's Orthodox or not. And nothing's Orthodox. It's tainted. I'm sorry, Eastern Orthodox Christianity has been tainted. It's been affected by Islam. It's been affected throughout history. It's not, you know, oh, there's the best and everything. Be a follower of Jesus Christ. God knows our hearts, whether we know our own hearts or not. Just be honest before God, above all else. And how do you do that? You pray to Him. You go inside where you pray, and you pray to God that the neighbors don't hear, God, I don't know where you live. And you pray that you always have a place where you can pray to God out loud, where you can let Him know what it is that you need and what you're offering to Him. And it should be, you know, like to lay down your life for a friend. God wants friendship with Him. So you should be willing to lay down your life for our King and our God. He did lay down His life for us, and He gave us the prayer of that we pray the blood of Christ over ourselves and our loved ones. The one-time final offering. All right, I don't like this blood sacrifice stuff. I'll come down and I'll lay my blood down for everyone, and we're covered. You're covered from now on. I did it already. It is completion. Remember that when He's on the cross, He gives His last breath. It is done. He did it. So now here we are. Better keep praying to God, because look what they set up. I feel like they're trying to take everything away from us. They're threatening that. And then when it seems really bad, they're like, do you want to go along with what we want? You can have everything. You have better, you know, we're saying the world's dirty and it's polluted and how we do everything is evil and wrong. So here's the clean energy that we always had that we lied about, which is long-term setup. Here's, you know, the secrets of health that we always had that were given to you in a distorted way. Here, we'll take all the poison out of your food. We'll take all this stuff away, and all it's going to cost you is your soul. That's all. Just the most important part of you. Just your soul, your spirit, you. Body, mind, and spirit. Body, soul, and spirit, sorry. That's all. So we have to say no, because God has so much more to offer us, and it's eternal, you know, and no more tears. God's setting the earth right for the last time. If you want to use the anime reference, the third impact. Go watch my Evangelion video. The third impact is about God settling the earth, Gog, Magog, and the whole show's about preventing that. It's a show where the forces of darkness and evil win. It's a total fantasy. We already know who wins. It's God. So we just got to hang in there. You know, we're going to die. Whenever you or I die, I don't know. But, you know, it would be due. It would do well to pray to God and ask for help, and to know that if death is near, so is eternity. Eternity with Him. That's why in the past, when there was, clergy, this is like under communism, whatever part of history, when they're the saints laying down there willing to die, and they're like, all you have to do is renounce God. Russian princesses comes to mind. All you have to do is renounce this Jesus of yours. All you have to do is renounce God, and you can have your whole life back and all the things. You can have everything down here. And they're like, no, do you realize how near God is? You're going to cut off my head. You're sending me right to him. This story of St. Paul. This story of Moses, he wasn't afraid. He's like, you're just sending me to him. You're sending me home. If I make the right decision by God, eternity awaits. And, a lot of people, look at how many people messed it up. But even when death is near, know that also God is near. So it doesn't mean that we should run blindly into death, but it does mean that we should not fear. We should not be dispirited. And we should be... the only thing that we really need fear is that God would reject us, that we would fail God in such a way that when we meet him, he says, go away from me, I don't know you, because what does it say in the Bible? Not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will be granted entry into the kingdom. That's the thing to be afraid of. That's the most terrifying thing in the Bible, where people thought they were right with God, and then when they come to meet him and they're happy to see him, he's like, get out of here, you don't know me. Nothing could be worse than that. Pray to God. Pray to God. Amen. Pray for others. Amen.